Hello dear friends, here we meet again to continue our lessons in math for 5th primary تحت رعاية وإشراف وزارة التربية والتعليم. Our lesson for today is dividing fractions. As we said before, dividing is the opposite of multiplication. So if I want, for example, to divide 12 pencils on, let's say, 2 people, then I will check table 2 and see what's in table 2 gives me 12. So if you are studying table 2 well, you will know how to answer. So 2 times 6 equals 12. Then the answer is 6. So either multiplication or division, both of them we need to study the timetable very well, because without it we cannot answer any of them. Okay, so now let's start our lesson. Our lesson for today, it has many points. One of them is dividing decimals or fractions by 10, 100, and 1000. I will start with simple division questions to remind you with the division that we took before. The first question here, 25 divided by 5. As I said already, that if I want to get the answer of such a question, I need to check the timetable of the small number that I have, or the one-digit number that I have, and try to get the answer. So here, 5 times what gives me 25. So in my head, I revise, or I try to say and get the answer. 25 times 5. So 5 times 5 is 25, so the answer is 5. Okay. Now let's move to the second one. Letter B, 48 divided by 6. Again, I will go to table 6 and see which number in table 6 will give me 48. It's, of course, yes, 6 times 8. So the answer will be 8. Now let's move to the third one. 45 divided by 9. The same idea and the same way. برضو table 9 هشوف في table 9 ايه عندي النمبر اللي لما اعمله times 9 هيديني 45. It's 5. So this is how we answer simple dividing questions. Letter D, 81 divided by 81. In table 9, I have both of them. I can simplify both of them, or I can just make them divided by each other and the answer will be 1. عشان احنا عارفين انه when I divide a number by itself, it gives me 1 all the time. Let's move to another point. Now it is dividing fractions. When I divide fraction, I have certain steps that I have to follow to make it correctly and easily. Now, I have this example, 2/3 divided by 6/7. The first fraction, I keep it as it is. ما بغيرهوش زي ما هو. Then, I move to the divided sign. This one, I have to divide. I have to change. I change it by times. بدل ما هتبقى divided هتبقى times. يبقى the first step I keep the fraction as it is. The second step لازم أغير ال divided into times. Then I will go to the second fraction, and my third step, this one I have to invert it or to flip it. يعني إيه؟ يعني أنا لازم أقلبه، أخليه upside down. اللي تحت فوق واللي فوق تحت. This is how I invert or flip a fraction. ف 2/3 stays as it is. The divided is changed into times, and then I invert the last fraction here اللي فوق تحت واللي تحت فوق. So on top, the 7 which was in the bottom, I'll put it on top, and the 6 which was on top, I'll put it at the bottom. بنقول عليها reciprocal بتاعه. When I multiply, as we said last time, before I start to multiply, I have to simplify to the simplest form. So I start with any numerator and check with the denominators to see if I can do this. If you look at this example, here the 2 can be simplified with the 6 because they have common factor, which is the 2. Okay, then 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Perfect. So now I check the other numerator, the 7. Can I simplify it with the 3? No. Both of them are prime numbers, so I cannot divide them by each other. The 7 and the 3, the other 3, it's the same case. So now I can multiply my fractions. 1 times 7, the numerators, is 7. And the denominators, 3 times 3 is 9. I'll check my answer once more. عشان ممكن أكون نسيت simplify to the simplest form. So I have to check my answer once more. Here, when I check it, 7 over 9, there is no common factor, then this is my simplest form. Now I can move to another example. Here, 3 over 4 divided by 15. 3 over 4, as we said, I follow the steps. The first step, I leave the first fraction as it is. I don't change it. زي ما هو. Then I go to the sign, which is here, the divided. I change the sign to, yes, 2 times. Then the 15, it's supposed to be 15 over 1. As we said before, any whole number is originally a fraction with the denominator of 1. So here is 15 over 1. And of course, I switch it or invert it or flip it to 1 over 15. Now I start to check whether there is something to simplify here or no. Here, the first numerator, the 3. Can I simplify it with the 4, the first denominator? No. Then I check the other denominator. Here it's 15. 3 and 15. Do they have any common factors? Yes. Both of them are in table 3. Then I simplify both of them and divide them by 3. Here, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. Then I multiply them. 1 over 4 times 1 over 5. The answer will be 1 over 20. 1 over 20, can I simplify it anymore? No, because I have 1 as a numerator, and 1 is the simplest form for any number. Another example, 5 over 9 divided by 5 over 7. Again, the same steps once more. 5 over 9, do I change it? Of course not, it stays as it is. So 5 over 9 remain as it is, and the divided will be changed into times. After that, I move to the second fraction, which is 5 over 7. As we said, اللي تحت بيطلع فوق واللي فوق بينزل تحت. It will be 7 over 5. Okay? Now, I simplify. I will check the numerators first. وأشوف the first numerator with the first denominator, the 5 and the 9. Can I simplify them with each other? No. خلاص مش هينفع بروح للsecond denominator. I have 5 in the first place of numerator and 5 in the second denominator. Both of them are in table 5. They have 5 as a common factor. Then I can simplify both of them. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 5 divided 5 is 1. And it will be, the answer will be 7 over 9. Why? Because I have 1 times 7 is 7 and 9 times 1 is 9. Check my answer and make sure that it is in its simplest form. 7 over 9, can I simplify them anymore? No, because they are in their simplest form. They have no common factors in between them. Now let's take a couple of examples about two ideas. They are a bit new, so that's why we need to discuss them in a bigger spectrum. So let's do it together. Okay. And this is another idea. This time it's a mixed number divided by a decimal number. So how can I answer this? If you remember في الحصة اللي فاتت we said إنه I cannot divide or multiply two different kinds of numbers. So if this one is a fraction, the other one has to be a fraction. If this one is a decimal number, this one has to be a decimal number as well. يبقى هنا لازم هغير واحد فيهم. So I'll change the decimal this time, the decimal number this time. 0.5, again, we studied before that. 0.25 equals to 1 over 4. 0.5 equals to half. And 0.75 equals to 3 over 4 or 3/4. Okay? Then now, I'll change the 0.5 into a half. Okay? 1 over 4 divided half. Then, again, I leave this one as it is, but first I have to change it into a fraction and leave the fraction as it is without converting it or flipping the numbers. يعني أنا باخده mixed number أخليه fraction لكن مش بغير الأرقام اللي تحت بيفضل زي ما هو واللي فوق بيفضل زي ما هو. أنا بقلبهم بس في the second fraction. So here 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 over 4 عشان احنا قلنا ان الدينومينيتور في الميكس نمبر لما بحوله لفراكشن بيفضل زي ما هو مش بيتغير. Then the divided I change it into times and then I will go for the last fraction which is I already changed from a decimal number into a fraction وبغيره upside down. So the 2 will be on top and the 1 will be on the bottom. And now I search for something or look for something to simplify. Here the 9 is my first numerator. I'll check with the denominators. 9 can be divided by anything in table 4? No. Then I don't have a common factor for them here. Then I move to the other denominator. 9 and 1? No. Then let's check here the other numerator عندي 2. 2 and 4, yes, they have 2 as a common factor. In this case, I can divide both of them by 2. So here, the 2 divided by 2 and the 4 divided by 2 as well. Then the answer will be here 1 and here 2. Now, I can multiply my fractions by each other. 9 times 1 is 9 over 2 times 1 is 2. Check your final answer to look for anything else to simplify. Now the 9 over the 2. Do I have any common factor between both of them? Of course no. Then this is the final answer that I can get. Now let's go back to our examples. Now, another example that we will take now, how many quarters of a pound are there in 10 pounds and a half? I have 10 pounds and a half or 10 pounds and 1 over 2 and I want to know how many quarters are there in this or these 10 pounds and a half. So 10 and a half divided by 1/4, which is a quarter, and I start to work on it. The same way as we took now, I have a mixed number. I have to change it into a fraction before I start my operation. So 2 times 10 is 20 plus 1, it's 21/2 divided 1/4. Okay, now I have two fractions divided by each other, so I now have to work on the steps that we already took at the beginning of this lesson. So the first fraction, guys, am I going to change this fraction or do anything in it? Of course not. We said it stays as it is. And then I change the divided into times, and the last fraction or the second fraction, I flip it or turn it upside down. اللي فوق تحت واللي تحت فوق. And then I try to find something to simplify them by or to. Here, the first numerator 21. هشوف ينفع simplified by 2? They have nothing in common. Then I will move to the other denominator, which is the 1. Also, I cannot simplify them together or divide them by each other or anything common. Here, I'll move to the other numerator, ال4. أبص على ال2, the first denominator. Do they have anything in common? Yes, both of them are in table 2. Then I will divide them by 2. The first one, 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2, and then I start to multiply the fraction that I have now after I simplified them. The answer will be 21 times 2 over 1, so it's 42 over 1, which means that I have 42 quarters in 10.5 pounds. Now, let's move to another slide or another example. This one. This is exactly the same idea. Nothing new about it. 2/3 divided 4/3. As we said, I have to turn it into a fraction, not mixed number. Then I follow the same steps that we took already. So 3, my denominator, I multiplied by 2, which is the whole number, gives me 6. Then I make it plus the 2 over there. So 6 plus 2 is 8. So it will be 8/3. The divided will be changed into times. And then the last fraction, I have to flip it or turn it upside down. So it's equals to 8/3 times 3/4. Now I look for numbers to simplify. I check the first numerator, the 8. Can I divide it by anything that can be divided by the 3? Does it have anything in common with the 3? No. I check the other denominator, 8 and 4. The 8, can I find anything in common between it and the 4? Yes. Both of them can be divided by 4. Both of them are in table 4. So I will simplify the 8 and the 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And the 3 as well can be divided by 3. So it will be 1 on top and 1 at the bottom. I multiply them. 2 times 1 and 1 times 1. The answer will be 2/1 or 2. Now let's move to another example. 5/6 divided by 4/9 equals 5/6 stay as it is, does not change at all. زي ما هي. Divided هغيرها تبقى times, then 4/9 لازم الفراكشن التاني flip it اللي تحت فوق واللي فوق تحت. So the answer will be 5 over 6 times 9 over 4, and I'll check 5, can I divide it or simplify it with any of these numbers, the denominators? No, there is nothing common between the 5 and the 6 or the 4. I check the 9. The numerator here, can I simplify it with the 6? Yes, both of them are in table 3, so they have common factor 3. Then 6 divided by 3, it will be 2, and 9 divided by 3, it will be 3, and I multiply them. 5 times 3 equals 15, and 2 over 4, 2 times 4 is 8, so the answer will be 15 over 8. Can I simplify them more than this? No, I cannot. Here, another example, 1 and 1 over 5 divided by 3 over 2, then mixed number. 5 times 1 is 5, and I multiply it by each other. It will be 5, then plus 1, it will be 6, so it's 6 over 5. The divided, I turn it to multiply, and the 3 over 2 will be switched or flipped, so it will be 2 over 3. The 6 and 3, I can simplify them and divide them by 3. The 6 will be 2 and the 3 will be 1, so it will be 4 over 5, and I cannot simplify it anymore. Thank you for being with me today. I hope that you understood the lesson and study well. Good luck.